something changed. Somewhere between the headlines about Epstein's jet, Ghislaine's conviction, and Trump's vow to drain the swamp, a strange silence fell. The man who once banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, the same man who never shied away from naming names, suddenly wasn't talking. And then, just like that, files that could have shattered political careers disappeared, were sealed, or went dark. The question is, did Trump bury the bombshell evidence? Or did someone else make the decision for him? Let's pull back the curtain. The Mar-a-Lago split. A convenient fallout or strategic distance? For years, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein moved in overlapping circles. Same parties, same elite guest lists, same whispers. They were two rich, loud New York figures, one building towers, the other building secrets. Then, suddenly, in the early 2000s, their so-called friendship ended with a bang. Reports say Trump banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago for making a move on a staffer's daughter. Sounds noble, right? Except that narrative only surfaced once Epstein became radioactive. Before that, there were photos, quotes, and even an infamous line from Trump himself in 2002. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. But here's what's strange. Unlike other elites, Trump distanced himself early, well before Epstein's 2006 arrest. Was this foresight or forewarning? Some believe it was Trump's way of preemptively scrubbing the association. Others wonder if Epstein knew something about Mar-a-Lago or Trump's guests that made him dangerous. And while most of Epstein's elite connections tried to hide or deny everything, Trump's team always had a clean response. He cut ties. That distance became his shield. But what if that break wasn't a clean one? What if it was a strategic silence? Next, things get even murky. The files that never came. Transparency or a sleight of hand. When Trump stormed into politics, he branded himself the ultimate truth teller. Drain the swamp wasn't just a slogan. It was a battle cry. And for many of his supporters, that swamp had a name. Jeffrey Epstein. So, when Trump promised to release all the Epstein files, it felt like justice was finally coming. And in early 2025, that promise turned into a public spectacle. Pam Bondi, Trump's attorney general and longtime loyalist, stood in front of cameras and said the documents were on my desk. The implication was clear. The client list, the flight logs, the sealed testimony, it was all there. Even Kash Patel, a former intelligence official and key Trump ally, hinted that explosive material would soon go public. MAGA forums lit up. QAnon channels surged with anticipation. Some even called it the moment we've all waited for. But when the documents were finally released, they were boring. A few unsealed depositions, some flight logs, a spreadsheet of legal notes. Everything was so redacted, it looked more like a crossword puzzle than a government file. No names, no client list, no smoking gun. Trump had delivered transparency, but only technically. It was the illusion of revelation. Critics called it a whitewash. Some insiders claimed Trump's team had overpromised and underdelivered on purpose, to cool down the fire before it got too hot. If that's true, then it worked. The media moved on. MAGA supporters were left scratching their heads. And the most dangerous files, the ones people believed could end careers, never surfaced. But then came Elon Musk, and everything flipped. Elon Musk, the America Party, and a dangerous allegation. If Trump was the storm, Musk was the lightning bolt. In mid-2025, just as the Epstein story seemed to vanish into the fog, Elon Musk reignited it. Not by accident, but as a direct political attack. By now, Musk had broken from Trump entirely. He launched his own political platform, the America Party, and positioned himself as the new anti-corruption crusader. Then, out of nowhere, he dropped this on X, formerly Twitter. Time to drop the big one. Trump's name is in the Epstein files. It exploded. Even Trump's loyal base wasn't sure how to respond. Musk claimed there were internal memos, unreleased pages, and redacted documents that proved Trump wasn't just a bystander, but maybe even a witness. Musk didn't say Trump committed a crime. He didn't have to. Just suggesting that Trump's name was in the suppressed files was enough to send the internet into chaos. Suddenly, Trump's transparency looked like cover-up. MAGA influencers started to splinter. Some said Musk had gone rogue. Others said maybe, just maybe, Trump wasn't telling them everything. And Musk wasn't finished. He doubled down, demanding an independent investigation and calling the DOJ memo a political smokescreen. Whether Musk had real evidence or was simply playing 4D chess, the result was the same. Doubt. Deep, unsettling doubt. And when doubt hits your base, cracks form fast. Next came the final nail, the DOJ memo that silenced the story. Just days after Musk's accusation, the Department of Justice released a sweeping internal memo. The conclusion? There was no Epstein client list, no evidence of blackmail, no government officials tied to criminal activity. The files had been fully reviewed, case closed. Trump's team immediately pointed to the memo as proof that there was nothing to hide. But for many, including his own followers, it felt too neat, too clean, too perfectly timed. Why release this now? Why not earlier? And why did the memo come out just as Musk was raising hell? The memo included one particularly eerie detail. Security footage from Epstein's final hours in prison, long considered lost, had been recovered. The footage, according to the DOJ, showed no foul play. It supported the official story. Epstein took his own life. But not everyone was convinced. The footage hasn't been made public. No independent forensic experts have reviewed it. And let's not forget, the first time Epstein was arrested in 2008, he got a sweetheart deal. The second time, he died in a high-security jail under bizarre circumstances. And now, just as the story was about to ignite again, the DOJ says, "Move along, nothing to see here." Coincidence? Or coordination? MAGA turns on its own. Within days of the DOJ's memo, the real meltdown began. Not from Democrats or mainstream media, but from within MAGA itself. Pam Bondi, once a trusted insider, became a target. Laura Loomer called her a liar. Dan Bongino, who had served as the voice of Law and Order MAGA, went dark. Rumors swirled that he had resigned behind the scenes over the Epstein fallout. Kash Patel issued a carefully worded statement, but it didn't calm the fire. Then came the most shocking shift of all. QAnon turned on Trump. Not entirely, but noticeably. For years, Trump was seen as the guy with the plan, the secret operator behind the scenes, exposing the cabal. But now, they started asking real questions. If Trump had the power to release the Epstein files, why didn't he? Why tease it, only to hide behind a DOJ memo? Musk capitalized. He posted cryptic messages about the ones who protect predators, and claimed more leaks were coming. Meanwhile, Trump's camp stopped talking. No press conference, no Truth Social rant, just silence. And that silence was deafening. Did Trump protect the truth, or bury it? So, what do we actually know? Trump publicly broke ties with Epstein. He banned him from Mar-a-Lago. He never flew on Epstein's plane. Or, at least, that's what the flight logs say. But he was in the same orbit. His labor secretary, Alex Acosta, cut Epstein that infamous 2008 deal. His attorney general promised transparency, then delivered redacted files. And when pressure mounted, Trump leaned on a DOJ memo written by his own appointees to say, "We're done here." Does that mean Trump was hiding something? Not necessarily, but it does mean the narrative, the one that said Trump was the only clean man in a dirty room, just got a lot more complicated. And maybe that's the real story. Not that Trump buried evidence, but that he made a choice. A choice to protect the system instead of dismantling it. To stay silent instead of blowing the whistle. To play it safe. Because in the end, even the loudest swamp drainer has to survive the flood. The silence that screamed. When the cameras turned off, and the documents came out looking like black ink spilled on white lies, the silence became its own kind of confession. The man who promised to name names never did. The files that were supposed to reveal everything ended up revealing nothing. So here's the final question. Was the truth buried, or just never found? And more importantly, will we ever know? If this deep dive made you rethink what you thought you knew, hit that like button. Drop a comment. Do you think Trump buried something big? Or is this all just political theater? And don't forget to subscribe for more hard-hitting, high-retention breakdowns that cut through the noise.